Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, February 5, 2024. Now before you jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what weather has been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the surface map of the Western Atlantic for this evening. We can see that we still have that cold front to the west of Jamaica. Well, at that time today, that was where the cold front was located across sections of the Bahamas, Central America. Keep in mind that by 7 a.m. on February 6th, that's Tuesday morning, the cold front should be to the east of Jamaica across sections of the Dominican Republic. And if we actually take a look at the rainbow satellite images that we just saw, if we even take a look right here, we can see the clouds associated with that cold front to show that it is moving quite quickly. So that boundary is literally across sections of western Jamaica as we speak. It's moving fast, and behind it we can see all of the winds that are kicking up a lot of clouds across sections of the Gulf of Mexico. All of this associated with a lot of cold dry air pushing down into portions of the Jamaica area, and should definitely get here by Tuesday. And we can see this even better on the temperature map right here. This is right now, this is 0Z on Tuesday. This is actually 7 p.m. on Monday, and we can see that yes, we still have some normal to slightly above normal temperatures, but as we move ahead in time, we start to see those blues coming in to portions of Jamaica right here. This is 12Z on Tuesday, that's 7 a.m. Then as we go out in time, we start to see the greens that represent even down to at least 6 degrees Celsius, even close to 7 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures. It's quite interesting that this is going to be happening. It's going to be quite historic. A lot of persons are going to be complaining about these temperatures, especially during the nighttime and early morning hours. We can see that this lasts all the way into Saturday and Sunday, when it actually starts to clear out and get back into the above normal temperatures with those oranges. And it's not only that that's going to be affecting us, the cooler than average temperatures, but these strong winds we can see on the Euro with all of these yellows, these golds, these burgundy colors expected tomorrow. Not so much on Wednesday, but definitely on Tuesday. And the GFS is showing something similar, and we know that when both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus, the chance of potential happening are much higher. So some very strong wind. There will definitely be some down power lines, some possible trees down, a lot of power outages. There will be a lot of dust in the air, so do take necessary precautions so that you're not that drastically affected by what's to come tomorrow. And if we take a look at what the Euro and the GFS are showing in terms of the average precipitation forecast rate, we can see that yes, we're indeed in for some amount of rainfall, but we can also see that Monday was gonna, bring forth the most in the way of rainfall, and we've had that. By the time we get into Tuesday, yes, we'll get some rainfall, but we can see that for the most part Wednesday into Thursday, not much rainfall is expected. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this, all because of this very large low pressure system across the southeastern United States. And as it relates to the accumulated precipitation that's expected from now up until this should show, yes, so 7 a.m. on Monday, February 12th. This is the amount of rainfall that's expected, just to show that we've had the brunt of the rainfall already on Monday. So not much in the way of rainfall is expected during the next 168 hours. That's the next 7 days. We can see the blues, the greens, especially across sections of eastern Jamaica. So this is the most rainfall that we're definitely going to be getting in for the month of February. If you remember the video that I posted at the end of January, it highlighted that we're gonna be having below normal rainfall during February, and we know that February is the driest month of the year across Jamaica already. So as stated earlier today, when this surface map was taken, we saw that we had the line right here associated with the cold front, but as it relates to the latest visible satellite images of the Western Atlantic, we can see the clouds associated with the cold front actually making their way across sections of Western Jamaica right here, definitely moving quickly, and we'll be talking more about that cold front later on in terms of what's happening right now. However, let us take a look at what was predicted in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today. It was stated that the cold front would have brought a lot of rainfall to sections of southern Jamaica throughout the day on Monday, starting from Sunday night, and some persons did indeed get on some of that rainfall. And we know when we're talking about southern parishes, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? We had the rainfall from the morning, and then by around 11 a.m. close to midday, we saw that it was starting to get intense in some spots. So a post was made on our Twitter page. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made on our Twitter page, but our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, TikTok at weather Jamaica, Facebook at weather Jamaica 876, and of course our YouTube channel at weather Jamaica. So this post was made at 11:01 a.m. highlighting the latest visible satellite image at that time, showing clouds bringing some amount of overcast skies and especially some rainfall to sections of some southern parishes. Definitely section of St. Elizabeth, southern Manchester, section of Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas got some amount of rainfall at that time. Then as the day progressed, by around 3:15 p.m. we had another post highlighting the same visible satellite images, showing clouds coming in from the southwest with all of that southwesterly wind, bringing more in the way of overcast skies and isolated showers to sections of some southern parishes. So definitely sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew got to know some of that. We even saw some sparkling yellow dots right there off the eastern portion of the island to show that we indeed had some amount of thunderstorm activity in some spots. And considering that the thunderstorm season is long over, it's quite interesting that we're getting such dramatic weather. Then finally, another post was made on our pages highlighting the live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, showing crossroads in St. Andrew and the overcast skies, as well as some amount of light rainfall that was taking place. We even saw some persons walking with umbrella, some windshield wipers were on some vehicles as well. And the commenters confirmed the rainfall, Smoking Rum stating beer rain from morning. Then when asked where, stating Boulevard area. Latoya stating South St. Elizabeth right now 2:56 p.m. It's been foggy and overcast all day. Even Latoya posting a video stating South St. Elizabeth, showing the rainfall. Same person. And we saw the heavy rainfall right there in her little video clip that she sent. Definitely some very heavy downpour. And we spoke about this in yesterday's video, that the southwesterly flow is what India usually gets that causes their monsoon, and we know monsoons lead to some heavy rainfall, not to mention triggering some flash flooding. And I believe this is one of the wettest Februaries I have ever seen. Just for today's Monday alone, it's the dry season. February in Jamaica, it's usually bushfires, fires left and right, buildings on fire. Jamaica Fire Brigade cannot catch a break. So it's quite interesting that we got so much rainfall yesterday and a little more to come on Tuesday. We had Shakira also confirming the rainfall in her area, stating heavy rain from last night here in St. Thomas. Jerome, Kingston 5 have been seeing rain from last night and randomly. TMCT, lovely rain. Judith Macaulay Smith stating it's raining in Kingston. And I can hear some rainfall outside as I speak. Definitely a lot more rainfall in store. I'll soon show you the latest satellite images and Doppler radar images. Shawnette Grant stating it just dashed out with windy winds in May Pen. Cosmo in the hills of St. Catherine, showing this picture that they took, highlighting the heavy rainfall in their area. Then we had fabulous 50, sunny in Portmore. Was looking forward to that cold front. Zoe raining on and off all day in Spanish Town. Louise and Henry foggy, dark and wet all day in Cooper's Hill. Winky Coombs intermittent rain in Mandeville or in Barton 12-12. Hitting good rain in Portmore. Them Scamway. Non-stop heavy rains here in Bull Bay. Lamont Ricks overcast. Even on our Facebook page we had commenters confirming the rainfall in their area. MJ Gold strong winds, had some scattered showers this morning. Now it's sunny. Big stating rain earlier on my side of Clarendon. It is now overcast and windy. Sheena Reed. Raining in Mandeville, Shanique, cloudy and windy in May Pen, Clarendon. Ishamar raining in some parts of St. Elizabeth. Marianne 2:57 p.m. raining. Kiva raining in Linstead. Brian periods of moderate rains. Ruth intermittent rain, dark clouds and sunshine in St. James. Audrey heavy winds in the hills of St. James since Saturday night. Kiva raining on and off in Time and Patience. MJ Gold heavy rain. And the list goes on. Even on our Instagram page we had the commenters confirming the rainfall. One comment, on and off heavy rain in Kingston, on and off light dew. Ingrid raining here in Avondale area. Sapphire William Marsh stating raining and very windy in Mobay. Lanky DeBuzz stating rain nice in Stony Hill. Such a nice Monday to be home. How we looking tomorrow? You're gonna find out now, Miss Berry. And even right here, the clouds on the hills look awesome. Definitely they do, and there's more where that came from on Tuesday, especially during the afternoon. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see how we indeed had that southwesterly flow across the island. Those winds coming in from the southwest that in turn caused the clouds to be coming in from the southwest. That's the low level clouds. And that brought about some amount of rainfall, more so in lieu of relief rainfall, especially for a section of some southern parishes. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite images of Jamaica, we can see that yes, we indeed had some amount of thunderstorm activity taking place across sections of some central and northeastern parishes where we see those sparkling white dots. We know that represents some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes. And we can see that the cold front, the clouds associated with the cold front, are actually making their way across sections of western Jamaica as we speak. And we can see it all even better on the latest Cuban Doppler radar images. Definitely coming into sections of Trelawney right now, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth. And the time is now 7:36 p.m. so they're definitely getting in on that weather. Not to mention sections of my area in St. Thomas getting in on some amount of rainfall that I just heard outside. And this indeed confirms what we saw today happening across Kingston. Heavy downpour on the See Jamaica YouTube channel. This was about a little bit after 12, and we saw that we had some very heavy rainfall, triggering some amount of isolated flash flooding in some spots. Look at that blanket of rain, barely even visible in the crossroads area at that time, and I definitely experienced that. Alright, so taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can say we're 27 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 3 a.m. on Tuesday, the temperature should start dipping down. Look at that. This is the first time ever seeing something like this. 18 degrees Celsius in Kingston is definitely going to be cold starting on Tuesday. I think this model is being a bit biased because it's not going to be that warm in Montego Bay or in Lucy at all. 25, 24 degrees Celsius. No. Definitely gonna be down there in the teens, especially with them getting in on the cooler than average temperatures first. And look at the wind direction. Winds coming in from the west. We're not used to that. We're used to the winds coming in from the east. So this is quite concerning. The strong winds plus the cooler than average temperatures. And look at this. This is 1 p.m. on Tuesday. We see the blues that represent down to at least 4 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures. And yes, the sun will be out, so some people won't even feel it. But when those greens start to come in, the 5 to 60, even close to 7 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures. Look at this. This is 0Z on Wednesday, and we start to see the greens coming into sections of Jamaica. especially western parishes in Jamaica. 0Z is actually 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So throughout the day, the temperature should be dropping as we head into Wednesday. And we're indeed grateful for the temperature drop, considering that even from last year we've been experiencing some very warm conditions. Lots of persons having some illnesses from the heat. So we'll take the cool temperatures. Hopefully it doesn't trigger any illnesses in some people. We know that the average temperatures for the month of February across Jamaica are about the same as 86.4 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, that's the same as 30 degrees Celsius. So we're gonna be getting in on some very interesting temperatures, anywhere from, let's say, 22 to 30 degrees Celsius at most. Can't imagine what it's gonna be like across sections of Manchester, where you know that's the coolest parish across Jamaica. As relates to the dry air map, we can see the dry air, the driest air across the Caribbean, across the Western Caribbean, that is, associated with the cool air that's coming in from the west, associated with that cold front, and it's definitely coming in fast. It's already across sections of the Cayman Islands as we speak, and it's on its way. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast, with all of these strong winds coming in from the west, it makes sense that majority of the Saharan dust is hitting a wall. It's literally moving to the north, and we can see it even better on the windy map right here. We can see the winds across the main development region with that high pressure coming in from the east, then curving to the north. So all of that dust is going to be pushing northward. It's not going to be making its way to the central and the western Caribbean at all. So all of this dust, as represented by the browns, should be at bay and not making its way to Jamaica at all. And keep in mind that this map is valid for 2 p.m. on Tuesday. As relates to the wave forecast, look at these waves. We can see that the waves are represented by what we see on the key on the bottom right. And we see a lot of purples and burgundy colors. So anywhere from 2 to 3 to even 4 or 5 or 6 meter wave height is definitely going to be dangerous out there for the fishers and marine interests. With all of these strong winds coming in from the west, especially across western Jamaica, we see more in the way of blues across sections of southern and eastern, especially eastern Jamaica. But we can't rule out that it's gonna be, quite dangerous over those spots as well. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS malls are in consensus with this, so do be careful. And we know that all of this is because of the very strong winds. It's gonna be a windy day tomorrow. It's not gonna be a hurricane, but it's definitely gonna be windy. And the wind direction is quite interesting, coming in from the west for the most part, coming more in from the west northwest on western Jamaica side, west northwest on the northern Jamaica side, more so from the west on the southern Jamaica side. Very interesting times ahead, and the GFS malls are in consensus with this as well. As relates to the rainfall forecast, far less rainfall than what we got yesterday, or today, sorry. So we can see that the rainfall should start by about 12 noon, so midday, and we see those blues that represent rainfall across sections of western Jamaica. Can't rule out some isolated rainfall across sections of the east during the afternoon as well, as we can see. So those maps, 12 p.m. from the Euro and the GFS, this map about 3 p.m. on the Euro and the GFS, and we see those blues that represent rainfall across eastern Jamaica as well. So maybe sections of Kingston, St. Andrew, Portland, St. Thomas might get on somewhat of isolated afternoon showers. These accumulated precipitation maps actually are incorporating what we're experiencing right now. We're still getting in on that southwesterly flow across the island, not to mention the Doppler radar images still showing some amount of rainfall coming in off of the sea across coming into sections of southern Jamaica as we speak, and with that rainfall still coming into sections of western Jamaica associated with the boundaries of the cold front, it makes sense that we're still seeing that rainfall total still expected. It's going to be incorporating tonight's rain into tomorrow's rain. So there's definitely more rainfall to come within the next 24 hours. Keep in mind that these maps are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we're indeed grateful that we're going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall. We're in the month of February. It's our driest month of the year, and to be getting so much rainfall today is quite eye-opening. It only, proves that climate change is real. We usually get up to 65.4 millimeters of rainfall for the month, the driest month of the year. So to be getting so much rainfall, it's quite historic actually. And we're indeed grateful because we don't need a drought at all. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can actually see the swirl of clouds associated with that area of low pressure coming off of the southeastern United States and going down into portions of the Gulf of Mexico. And we can also see a lot of clouds bringing thunderstorms to sections of western Venezuela, Colombia, some of that affecting sections of French Guiana, Suriname, and Guyana as well. Not so much activity taking place across the eastern Caribbean at this time. As it relates to the northeastern Caribbean, we don't see much across the Leeward Islands, but we do see some grains that represent some isolated shores across sections of Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands. As it relates to the Barbados radar, we can see that southeasterly flow of winds is bringing some amount of isolated showers across the waters around Barbados. Not much across Barbados at this time, but we could have a hit or miss shower or two, some of which could affect sections of St. Vincent, Grenadines, sections of St. Lucia, Martinique, who knows. However, as it relates to the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall that we mentioned on the satellite images across sections of French Guiana, Suriname, Western Venezuela, and Colombia. But we also see that rainfall across sections of Cuba and southern Florida associated with that low pressure. And we can see that we have a yin-yang kind of thing going on. Eastern to central Caribbean above normal temperatures for tomorrow. Central and western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico below normal temperatures. As relates to the Saharan dust forecast, as stated, the winds coming in from the main development region are curving to the north across the eastern Caribbean. So it makes sense that all of the dust associated with the Sahara Desert aren't going to be making it to the central and western Caribbean, including the Greater Antilles. So it's going to be staying at bay. And these are the lighter shades of brown, so it won't be that robust. What we don't want to see is those darker shades of brown that we see closer to Africa, because we know that's what usually causes the hazy skies and triggers the asthma and Saharan dust in some people. As it relates to the wave forecast map for tomorrow, you can see both the Euro and the GFS are showing the purples and the burgundy colors across the central and western Caribbean, the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, the waters to the north of the Caribbean as well. While the central and eastern Caribbean should be getting in on more in the way of those blues, anywhere from 0.5 meter to 1.5 meter wave heights. And that's because the winds are going to be strongest wherever we have those purples and burgundy colors that represent those high wave heights. So sections of the waters around the Bahamas, Florida associated with that low pressure, the central and western Caribbean including Jamaica, sections of Honduras, while we're gonna be getting in on some strong winds, yes, across sections of the northeastern Caribbean, as we can see by those yellows, maybe averaging up to 25 knots at most. However, as it relates to the rainfall forecast, we don't see much in the way of rainfall for the eastern Caribbean, but we do see that rainfall anywhere from Puerto Rico westward. So the US and British Virgin Islands could be in for some amount of rainfall, sections of the ABC Islands, not to mention sections of French Guiana, Suriname, Guyana, Western Venezuela. If they're not already receiving the rainfall, they're definitely going to be getting it before 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can see that rainfall across sections of Colombia, sections of Panama, Costa Rica, sections of Nicaragua getting in on the action. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with that forecast. We can also see some amount of isolated shower activity still in the forecast for sections of the Cayman Islands, sections of Cuba, the Bahamas, Jamaica still to get in on some amount of rainfall. Haiti and Dominican Republic definitely going to be getting in on some amount of rainfall within the next 24 hours. Turks and Caicos as well. And we know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.